Hi everybody, in this video I share with you some very essential tips for those new players who are playing Jump into Norris for the Wicked. I play over 100 hours and I can share with you some very important tips that you don't want to miss. So first of all, the first thing, when you play the game, I highly recommend not investing in any attributes that actually scale the damage of your weapons, or in this case also can be a shield. And this can be either strength, dexterity, intelligence or faith. All of the four depends on the weapon, will actually scale the damage. And you can actually see if you're using different weapons, you can see the attribute bonus, how much actually you get extra when you invest points in them. Now, even if you find a strength weapon at the beginning, I recommend still not investing until you know which type of build you want to play, either when watching maybe other gameplay videos that people are making, or maybe just try them out yourself even without scaling them first, and then see which one you like best, and then you say, alright, this is a great weapon I want to use, and then invest the attribute points to scale the damage. Usually you can do well in anything if you have some time to recover from mistakes, and how you get them by having higher armor, which reduces the incoming damage, or having more health, or both, which again give you more time to, if you get hit, not to like die from 2 hits or something like that. We're going to talk about attributes in a moment. So when you get to the first city, Sacrament, and you go to the blacksmith, you're going to find some weapons with different different scales. So for example, requirements, and you can see it says scales with. So if you go to the blacksmith at the city, you're going to find some weapons you might want to give a try, because there are different ones that scales with different attributes. Of course, you're going to find lots of drops on the way as you play, so don't hurry to increase the damage straight away. So this means again you need to pay more attention, but battles will last longer, but again you still want to know which weapon you actually want to use at the end. But no worries, it's going to be lots of different weapons for different type of scales, so you're going to find the things that you enjoy most and stay with it. And it's better again to know which one you want to play with. Some weapons are going to be slow, for example, others are going to be fast, even for the same scale. I have a character which has a weapon that scales with strength, which is pretty fast with lots of fast combos, and the other one is very slow. For example, this one is very slow, and it's combination both faith and strength, as you can see. Of course, some of the weapons have high requirements. For example, to get to use this weapon, I need 26 in strength and 26 in faith, and that can take a lot of time to get. And if you don't satisfy these requirements, you won't be able to actually equip and use the weapon. Alright, so keep in mind that even if you get a good drop, you won't be able to use it, and you want to keep it stored in the community chest at first, which I'm going to show you where it is. Alright, so if you're starting the game, there's a shorter way to get there, but you won't be able to unlock it. So I'm just going to show you, because this is important, because you might get lots of items first, and you need to know where to store them. Trust me, you're gonna find it a bit annoying at first, so you need to store your weapons. So you're just going to follow where I'm actually going, and I'm going to show you where you can do that. Some of the items are necessary, some items you can just count on getting later on. Alright, so we can get here, and actually once you rest for the first time, you'll be actually going to wake up there, but if you didn't pay attention, I'm just going to show you where it's located. Alright, that's the community chest. We can actually, if you bring another character to the same realm, you'll be able to get items from here, but you can actually store items here. Later on, you're going to unlock a house, you can buy a house or more, you can put storage chests, but until that happens, you can use this one. Now, when you start playing the game, don't rush straight to the objective again, because you can actually fight a few enemies, and you can actually level up faster at the beginning because you need less experience points. So explore the world, find for example items like maybe the shovel, the pickaxe that allows you to gather items as well. For example, if with the shovel you can dig and you can find some really important items. So make sure to roam around before you're going, let's say at the beginning, to the first boss. If you don't want a spoiler for the first boss, you can skip this part, but I'm just going to share a few important information for that boss. So for the first boss, if you're in trouble, first continue farming and get healing items. It doesn't hit that hard, and it's pretty easy to avoid. Take your time. Again, you did go into lots of damage even without actually investing in damage of any weapon that you actually found. You can even find some let's say grenades, items you can actually throw, the throwables that deal lots of damage as well. But basically bring more healing items and you'll be able eventually to beat it. And I'm sure if you kind of explore, you're going to find a few throwables, so a combination of throwables and, you know, a bit of patience, and you're going to find this boss will be pretty easy to beat. Now again, make sure if you get to the city, and you're going to get there of course once you finish the first boss, make sure to activate the whisper there. This allows you, by the way, to go back to the city anytime we're from any other whisper. However, keep in mind that again, except from the for the whisper that in the city, any other whisper that you activate, you can only access the last whisper that you actually activated. So if I activate, let's say, one and then I went to the second, except again the city, I won't be able to go back to the previous one, only to the last one I actually activated. It's important to know that unlike Souls games, you won't be recovering health or other things when you actually activate it. So it's not like a Souls game where you say, alright, I'm just going to heal back. No, you need ins for that or sleep in a bed. It doesn't work like that like in Souls games. Now again, one of the most important things for you is to, especially beginning, is to find healing items. And the way to cook this, you need the campfire. Now the most common one in the beginning of the area are the Artemisia herb and the mushroom. Right, so make sure to pick them up. And there are quite a few of them. You can see here, there's another one here. But if you really want more of the herb, you need to go to this place on the map. Where you can go up here. Right, you're going to find, by the way, this is a place where you can actually dig, so keep an eye. You can actually see kind of a, you know, a red thing, so it shows you red bar, shows you can actually dig it. And of course, once you have the shovel, you'll be able to dig it. That's how it looks like, and then you can find different things. Sometimes even, you know, armor items, even weapons and stuff. All right, and then we're going to go here. You can see more here, 1 and 2, and there's more. This is the place at the beginning of the game you can find lots of these items to create healing items. Campfire, you're going to find different ones. Some of them are bigger, some smaller, and you interact with it, and then you can cook. Alright, and you can see these ones are very, very good at the beginning. You need mushroom in the herb, and then you can just craft them. It takes a few seconds, and then you have healing items. And then what you need to do is to be able to equip it. The way to equip it, you go to your inventory and go to this tab for the consumables, and then you can just point to it and click on the control. I press A, for example, and then you can see it's equipped, right, to my top. All right, and then if I want to heal, it's very easy with the D-pad, in case I'm using a controller here, to just press up. And I can heal. Now when you explore the world, enemies won't spawn again only after I think like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that. So they won't actually be gone forever, the more we spawn. And the variation of the enemies that will spawn depends on your level. The higher the level you are, the more type of stronger enemies you're going to see in the world. So the world's kind of a dynamic and changing, depends on your progress. It took me some time to realize that trees you can chop down. So when you get the axe, you'll be able to chop down trees as well. Alright, so make sure to pay attention to it. You need to get close to it, and lots of the trees will be able to chop them. Not in Crucible, in the later end game area, but many places you're going to find trees, so make sure to chop them out and pick the loot. You can also found these ones where you can actually use the pickaxe. So make sure to pick the loot there. You'll need it later on. Now, similar to maybe Souls games, you know, where you have lots of different items like barrels and stuff, many of them you can actually eat. You see boxes, you can actually eat them. You might get something from it, not all the time, but keep in mind these are breakable and sometimes you're going to get something out of it. So make sure to break stuff here and there. Now, another important mechanic actually borrowed from Souls games is be able to find shortcuts. For example, this ladder wasn't actually down, and basically what I needed to do, I needed to, I needed to kick him, so it was actually up, and I needed to go and kick it, and once I kick it, I'll be able to climb from the bottom. So you're going to find different shortcuts you can actually activate in order to be able to, well, go there where previously you weren't able to do it before. You're also going to find chests in the wall, so make sure to open up. The bigger the chest, usually the better the loot, or maybe variation of different loot items, so make sure to open all the chests you actually see. Some good items might be there. And regarding the shortcut, just you can see that here, for example, I can climb this ladder. But once you progress through the game, you're going to find a shortcut, and then you're going to kick this ladder and you'll be able to climb it up from here. Now you cannot jump in the game. However, if you find an obstacle you want to quickly go over it, you need to just run. It will automatically jump. So I'm just on the controller here, I'm pressing A, running, it will automatically jump. I don't need to press anything to jump. Alright, can just run. Of course, if I just gonna move, I'm just gonna fall down. Alright, can you just move? Poof! I'm gonna fall down. When the game is designed in a way that some of the items are going to be in a dark area, you want to be able to see them until you really come close, and then it's going to reveal to you. I mean, I don't have an example here, but basically when you're exploring, make sure to even go to the edges. You might find, oh right, actually there's an area here that actually extended. Only when you get close to it, it will actually expose itself. So again, explore thoroughly. Right, regarding items and combat, or first of all, when you get items, they're not equipped by default, you need to equip them. You have your offhand and you have your main hand, and you can see if you're gonna unlock more slots as you progress, but basically I can use all of them, just use one. But if I have two, for example, I can just switch. You can see I can use here, and I can switch to different weapons if I have two of them. Alright, but if I have one for one-handed, it's actually going to unlock also the second one. You see I have katana on one hand and I can use the shield. If I go to one that uses two hand, I'll be able to just use this one and the shield is disabled. Alright, so basically I can use the katana and the shield because the shield is enabled. Now, you have different options for armor. You have the helmet, you have the body armor, you have the gloves, and you have pants, all with different type of options for including gems. Different gems give you different type of buffs. And you also have the different perks each one has. You can see the armor in the poise that allows you to gain higher poise, less you are susceptible to being interfere with your attacks. You can actually just fall down again if you're being attacked too much and get kind of stunned. And we have also praise for rings. Again, you're gonna unlock more as you progress, a maximum of 3. We give you different buffs and also some resistances. You have heat resistance, electric, plug, and cold. In the tools, alright, in total you have 6 places. You can slow them here to have it so you can actually farm and gather resources. Now when it comes to items, you have different ones with rarities. For example, the white wine common one, you can see that they're empty. You can actually, in most part, for example here you have a white wine that you can actually put more skills into it, and even 4 places for gems. You also, for example, if I go into my inventory, you can see that if I go to this one, it has only gems options, right? It doesn't carry skills, but it can put gems. This is because this is an armor items. Now, white wine doesn't mean bad. This means it gives you just more options to slow things yourself, and it can be good for some builds that you want to make sure to you decide what to actually put there, although it's limited in what you can actually have compared to other ones we're going to talk in a moment. But you can just slow things yourself, which for some builds can be very, very useful. You can have, for example, 4 different type of skills embedded, and you can decide which gems you want to use, which each one depends on the item you're using. We're going to give you different things. The way to actually, by the way, know which gems does, this is a bit more advanced, but nonetheless I'm going to show you. You go to this lady and you can actually choose enchant, sorry, not enchant, you can choose infuse, and for example I can choose maybe this one, and I can see now what each one does. Again, it's going to be different, depends on the items. Although it's going to be the same gem, it's going to be different attributes, depends on the items you're going to slot. And then you can see what it does. For example, this one gives me deals 9 to 30 cold damage on parry. Alright? So again, this is the way you can actually embed gems in yourself and create a build. So white doesn't mean bad, just more room for customization, although there are limitations of what you can actually get with it in terms of gems, because the number of gems are limited and there are more options you can actually get that you won't get from gems if you get other items. Let me show you. Alright, so the next one we have blue items. Basically, blue items are items that don't have any negative compared to the purple ones, which are of course cursed ones, that comes with a negative one. It can be negative, can be pretty bad, so it's really important to know, if you actually want that perk. Negative can really ruin the entire item, basically, because it doesn't either fit your build or it's really, really bad overall, basically if it doesn't fit the build. Where the blue ones might have some things you might like. Not all of them are sometimes great, but again, you don't have any negative and might fit the build. Right? And again, if you go for the purple, for example, let's say the weapon that I'm using here, you can see that it has a unique perk that I wouldn't able to get either in terms of value, or just the perk itself is not achievable with the gem that we currently have at the current state of the early access. Right? But it does come with a negative. For example, durability half, I didn't care about it, so I stay with it. Alright, but it's important also to know that again, if you are going and for example changing, you can have the option to change white to blue, you will be losing some of the slot options that you have. So for example, you can see here that when I'm using the purple one, this was enchanted from a white one, I actually have only slot for one gem. Alright, so again, this is negative thing. If you decide to, wait, I want more control over the weapon when it comes to gems. But again, you're going to get maybe good stats and a not so bad negative, but still you'd be able to get a strong weapon, but you're going to be limited with the gems that you can actually slot there, only one gem. And you can see I also have only 2 places for putting the runes compared to if I went with white, which I have 4 of them. Let me show you. Here I have 4 places. One is actually already equipped with spin, but you can see I have 3 more spaces to actually use runes and 4 places for gem. So it's all about the balance of what you want to achieve. But again, if you're going to go higher the rarity, you can have less option for customizations. Now the other rarity is the unique one, some call it legendary. Basically, if these items kind of have a fixed type of perks, values might differ, depends on the items, as you can see here. But for example, this one, like the weight you can see here is slightly different. And you can see that the attack damage is different for this katana, and the values in the perks. But they have kind of a static type of perks and runes that are available for them. But these are the ones that you know, you won't find lots of randomness in them. Basically, they're kind of fixed weapon with slightly different stats. The other thing is that you can see, by the way, on the ring, for example, it has heat resistance, cold resistance, plug, and electric. You can actually have those available on your weapons, and I believe some of them will be more efficient against certain enemies. The thing is that depends on what you like. For example, it will going to give you also damage over time, which is quite significant compared to plug, which I have on my weapon, which I wasn't really, I think it's more better for fast attacking weapons. It still plug deal damage over time, but hit deals more based on my experience. Cold also can freeze enemies. At certain point, enemies will just freeze in place, which is great. It's not to be one of the best ones right now in terms of meta. And we also have electric. We can, I think, also stun enemies. Not 100% sure. I haven't played with it a lot. But basically different elements on the weapons, you can have them. Some of them comes, for example, with a perk like attack deal 21% extra plug damage, as you can see. And it's also changed, by the way, the animation. So if you have this perk, you're going to see, for example, like fire or plug animation. Here in case you can see plug, see kind of it's purple, so it's plug. So it's also effect animation. You'll be able to edit also as a rune as well, if you like to. It's not a must, if you like to, but then that's for a later video. So these things are important, and also keep it in mind that, again, pay attention to the skills, what the weapon scales with. This is where you actually, once you decide which weapon to invest in, the stats, which as you progress, you're going to unlock attribute points, which allows you to set up the different points, depends what you like. Keep in mind, there are static as of the time of making this video. You can respec them. I heard they're going to add respec, so maybe as of the time you watch this video, it is available for you. So basically, in my opinion, the things that are better to invest in, except from damage, it's up to you to decide how much you want to invest in strength, dexterity, intelligence, and faith. And of course, what you need in order to use weapon, because there are requirements for each weapon. I think that stamina is the least important one. You can find it on the weapon that significantly increases it. So even if you stay, just see how much you actually need as you play, as you find items, and then increase it if you really want to. But even if with 10, you might be good enough. Depends on the build though. Health is very important. Some people say they die with 2 hits because they haven't invested in lots of health. Focus depends, again, you can easily have lots of focus as well from items, so that's why I'm keeping it the lowest here. But you know, depends on the build, you might want to invest more. Equipment load is very important because it allows you to use items which eventually, this you can see here on the right, if I increases the equip load, it reduces the weight. So this allows me to basically wear items that are heavy, have high armor, but not actually becoming heavy. If I'm heavy, I can roll very slowly. If I'm normal, I can roll fast. And if I'm fast, I can just zap, you know, kind of teleport. So depends on the weight class you actually add, this will change. So equipment load is also very important. Now, the biggest tip for you when it comes to putting attribute points, you don't need to invest it immediately. Wait and see what you need, you know, based on your build. Wait a bit. You can wait a long time and just see, all right, now I actually need it. I'm doing fine. I don't need to invest. Then you only invest based on what you actually feel needing. You find a great item. It is perfect, but well, it's put you in a weight class. It's heavy. All right, what are you gonna say now? All right, let's invest in equip load to make it normal again. All right, it really depends. We're in a boss fight. You feel like, all right, if I add a bit more health, it would be great. Then you're gonna invest in health. All right, so you don't have to invest immediately. Wait for it. Find what you actually need, and then invest. Now, in terms of attack, you have your regular attack, or if you hold, you have your heavy attack, all right? Kind of charge attack. Each weapon has different things. Some weapons, by the way, you can even combo. For example, this is regular attack, but if I repeat it, I can, you know, some of them are really cool combos. So you can even repeat a regular attack, it will have a different combo, a set of attacks. Now, similar to Souls games, you can actually backstab enemies as well, kind of execution style. You're gonna see an icon of a skeleton when you come from behind the back, and then you can just press the regular attack and you can execute them. Now, there's also the option to parry an attack. If you do the right time, you have the option to stagger enemies, again, before they attack. And you can also block. It's also something that is available for you. Parry and block as well. Now, you also have the option to attack from above. Again, if you just move the X and then just do it from where you're at the top, you press X, you can attack from above. This deals massive damage. Keep in mind, there is fall damage in this game, so don't do it from too far from above. You might die from it. Now, another thing is, again, we're getting to the end, no worries. When you find items like this, there is also a smaller one. They give you experience. Make sure to use them. This one, for example, the large one, give you 800 experience, especially when you're starting playing the game. It's going to be insane. It's going to give you lots of XP, allows you to level up quicker. So don't forget to use it. Now, once you get to the city, you're going to find, I think it starts from the beginning, you find this one, Captain Randolph. Make sure to interact with him because he's going to give you some bounty hunting and some challenges that you can choose weekly and daily, which are very, very important for you. You can get XP and also items and lots of gold that can be very, very good for, you know, if you want to level up and kind of get lots of gold early on. So make sure to use it. So also make sure to talk with NPCs to learn more about the lore. Don't be afraid of dying, it's part of the game. It can be challenging, especially at first. Other thing, by the way, make sure to check also the map. You can actually put some place markers, like with A, for example, and choose different markers. So make sure to take use of it if you kind of, you know, some things you want to mark and come maybe later. If you can't do it, maybe now. And check out, of course, all the different options for you in the stats, so you know actually how you're at with your character. And also you can check also the quests, bounties, and challenges, again, from everywhere in the game, but just going to the shortcut menu. And the last thing, I recommend playing with a controller, especially with vibration. It's absolutely amazing. This game just feels like it built in to play with a controller. And yeah, of course you can play with a keyboard as well. So overall, have fun, enjoy the game. I hope you find this one useful. If either of you have any other tips for players, make sure to mention that in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.